Signore e signori, è qui da noi lui, il Golden Boy, il Control Freak, Bleszinski.
All right, I guess I'm the only one that's gonna talk to you.
Okay.
No. So, how are you? How was your day?
I'm good. I got up at noon because I can. Well, my wife and I we're night owls, right?
Okay.
We stay awake till 3, 4 in the morning every night, playing games, watching movies.
Match made in heaven.
Yeah, no, it's we don't have any kids, so I don't want any because kids are parasitic sociopaths.
Okay.
And we're fiscally / financially comfortable enough to live a very comfortable lifestyle, and I basically just get to have a dance party with my wife in our kitchen at 2 a.m. every night. And she's my best friend, and it's actually fun fact is she's actually started doing the Twitch thing herself.
Yeah,
it's Twitch.
That's how we found you.
Yeah.
And you trolled me hard.
You didn't think I'd actually reach out, right?
No, I thought you were your agent because that's what your wife told me.
No, it's I do have an agent, but there's a reason my memoir is called Control Freak.
Control Freak, right?
Because I like to take control of things, and I believe all eyeballs are good these days because I do have that book to sell. Got my dog comic book.
Yes, I want to talk about that. That's the big one is coming out in 2 days, right?
No, it's April 23rd actually.
Oh, 23rd. Okay.
Yeah.
So tomorrow.
No, dude, it's February right now.
It's February. I'm stupid, dude. I'm working like a mule lately.
You look like you're in a wine cellar over there with that ceiling.
Oh, but that's my house. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's an old one.
That's
so
beautiful.
I'm gonna try to not rapid fire, but kind of move along because they sent me a shitload of questions for you.
Oh, your followers?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I want to start with developer, game designer, Broadway producer, comedian, book creator, and apparently singer too. Is there anything you don't do?
Cheat on my wife.
Yeah. Okay. Moving right along.
Well, real quick, the thing about my diverse series of interests is that A, I like to learn new things.
Yeah.
And B, I like money. And so the thing is learning, how stand-up comedy works. I go to our local comedy club about once a week. I've become friends with a lot of the people in that community. And then, the Broadway shows I've been involved with, I really believe in. And just, you forgot the restaurants too, by the way.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. We have the Raleigh Beer Garden out here in North Carolina, and it has 400 beers on tap, which is Guinness World Record.
I actually saw the pictures. Yeah. I totally forgot, but I saw the pictures. That looks so cool.
It's pretty amazing to go there and to sing on Mondays and to I don't really have a good voice. Karaoke is just about going for it.
Okay.
Right? We're not gonna take it. That kind of thing.
Please clip, everyone clip.
We're not gonna take it anymore.
Right?
Adesso ti sente, Pierpaolo, secondo me, perché ti sento io.
And then doing hip hop, this here's a jam for all the fellas. Try to do what those ladies tell us. Get shot down because you're overzealous. Play hard to get females get jealous, right? That's
I can do it. I can rap.
Well, the thing is sometimes we get a really good crowd at karaoke nights, and I realize these people are all buying pretzels and beer, and they're essentially paying me to see me sing poorly.
That's the dream, right?
So it's like self-perpetuating motion at that point. And I finally got my wife to go up there on my birthday. My birthday was a couple Mondays ago.
Yeah.
And she doesn't karaoke. She's very shy.
Wait, how old are you?
I'm 49 now.
49. Okay.
Yeah, I moisturize. Get that under eye cream.
Ha detto che si dà le creme per quelli che non hanno capito e in caso la I non abbia tradotto. Sì. I was explaining because the AI might not have catched that the moisturizing thing.
Yeah, I learned it from my black friends because they get that cocoa butter up in there.
Yeah.
But my wife actually went up and sang, and that was my birthday gift this year. And she grabbed a bunch of girlfriends, and they all sang the Pokemon theme song together.
Okay, weren't you singing like Spice Girls? I saw a tweet.
Yeah. I was in New Orleans with my friend John, who works at Nintendo, and his lovely wife Colette, and we went on stage and did "Spice Up Your Life." I think that was it. Yeah, his wife's this lovely blonde-haired girl from England, so she has the English accent, and of course she loves the Spice Girls, and she looks like a Spice Girl. But that was in New Orleans. We went for Mardi Gras. We do Mardi Gras every year.
I have a question about a different tweet, and then I'm gonna go on with the chat questions, because otherwise they're gonna kill me. There was a picture that needs some explanation that I saw. There was you getting shot in the ass with a Nerf gun. So what was the situation there?
That was part of the stat. I can't remember what costume the guy was wearing. I think it was like a chicken or something.
It was a chicken. Yeah, it was a duck. It was a duck.
The duck. Yeah. So the idea is that I became friends with some of the local stand-up comedians, and I expressed interest. Because again, it comes down to community, and they do this thing about once a month called the Comedy Game Show, where it's kind of like those classic 80s game shows like Press Your Luck or The Price is Right. And so basically they take 3 comedians with a host. We go up on stage and we do like question and answer, and like this the whole sequence is called press your duck, and they had this like duck you had to hit on the table.
Okay.
And they did like Q&A, and you try to make it funny and things like that. And but then the duck came out, and I got a question wrong, and so he had to shoot me with the Nerf gun. So I
okay, so it's punishment basically.
So I mean, to make it funny, I presented my butt.
Yeah.
I think I still have that Nerf dart stuck in my ass.
So listen, the question on everyone's mouth is: are you coming back to game development?
I'm currently doing some consulting.
Okay, can we know about with who and for what?
I can't really say at this time.
But it's Gears of War. I mean,
it's not,
just wink twice.
Yeah, right. Well, what pisses me off is the fact that I've said multiple times that I would be happy to consult. Send me the stories, tell me the build, and the quote that I said in another interview was, if Microsoft was smart, they just bring me on just for the PR alone.
Yes.
And that's the thing is, sorry, burping up lunch.
Don't worry.
The thing is IGN took just, if Microsoft was smart, they bring Cliff on board. I'm like that. And there's
that's
this term
headline.
Well, it used to be the term used to be clickbait, and now it's rage bait.
Yeah.
Because the internet is driven by engagement. Right. And so, what happens is they post, a line like that, and then people don't read the article, then they go straight to the comments. And that's why a certain corner of the internet hates my fucking guts, to be honest.
I understand. We're trying to change for as much as we can the landscape.
This is our mission, Cliff.
Because there's a reason why I manage these things. Yeah. And it's because I hate the internet. I don't need clickbait there, and I feel free.
Did you guys see the Borderlands movie trailer?
Yeah. No, I did. Oh,
today.
I think it looks fun. I mean, the one thing is, I think they should be. They should about it. Well, it's not cool to like things, right? Yeah. And so I watched the trailer. I'm like, that looks fun. The casting is unique. Maybe certain actors aren't necessarily perfect for the characters from the game. But you have to get a wiggle, get some name brand recognition in there for an unknown IP for the majority of the muggles out there. Yeah. My one note is, I really think they should have used that, "Ain't no rest for the wicked" song from the original. Yeah. And some dude actually edited it with that, and 99%.
And it works.
It played great. And also the people in a lot of the comments, and you're not supposed to read the comments, but
but you do. Yeah.
It's like when you have bad milk, you're like, here, smell this milk,
And when
And,
there's 1,000 good comments and one bad comment, you're gonna focus on that till the end of time.
I call it the bad peanut. You're sitting there eating peanuts.
Yeah.
And then you get one nasty one. You're like, oh, Jesus. And the thing is everyone's like confused. Like, how come it's not Claptrap's original voice? Why is it Jack Black?
Oh, God.
Like, well, there's a long story to that.
Yeah.
The guy who voiced Claptrap got in a fight with Randy Pitchford, the guy who owns and runs Gearbox. And he essentially he either quit or was fired.
Yeah.
I'm still good friends with both of them, right? But that happens in business, and sometimes you have to recast. And I think Jack Black's voice sounds perfectly fine. It's it could have been a little more heavily modulated, but Claptrap looks great. I think it looks like a really, really good time.
And it's also a little bit of a name. I mean, it's Jack Black.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It helps.
But I mean, the movie
nothing Jack Black can do.
the movie came out looking like Mad Max meets Guardians of the Galaxy, and I'm like,
yeah,
sure, I'll be there day one.
To close the loop, the answer is there is something cooking. You're consulting for something.
Yeah, I'm consulting on stuff, but it's not Gears, unfortunately.
All right. What about the Gears movie, TV show? What's the deal there?
No, nothing. It's
nothing as in NDA, or you can't.
I honestly, I'm not involved at all. Nobody's reached out. And the funny thing is fans of The Last of Us, which turned out great, the TV series, because Neil Druckmann was involved, right? And you look at, the Fallout trailer, and it says, right up front, Todd Howard.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, that gives nerd cred to the diehard, the core fans who are going to be there regardless day one. And then you like span out to the masses, right?
Yeah.
And introduce.
But you were a consultant at one point on that, or what?
Well, when I was at Epic, we had New Line Cinema involved. We had Legendary Pictures involved, Temple Hill Productions involved, and it kind of collapsed upon itself because there's just too many fucking cooks in the kitchen. It's like the old saying when someone says, we're making a movie and we have 12 screenwriters, so it's going to be great. It's like, no. That's actually a bad sign.
So let's play fantasy. If you had carte blanche if you were the consultant, or if you were in charge of the Gears movie or TV show, which actors would you pick?
I still, I used to say back in the day that I don't think a wrestler would be a good fit, but I think Batista for Marcus would be perfect.
He's a huge fan too.
Oh, I know. He actually did a video of him in the armor and everything. Yeah. His spitting image of Marcus, and I think they put him in as an alternate skin in one of the recent Gears games.
Yeah, they did. They did in Gears 5.
And he's proven his acting chops from Guardians of the Galaxy to Blade Runner to Knock at the Cabin.
Yes.
And the thing you realize is yes, wrestlers are amazing athletes. Yes, they do get hurt, but yes, it is scripted, and yes, they are acting though, and you have to be charismatic in order to do that role. For Anya, of course, Margot Robbie, because she can do no wrong. Because the Barbie movie was hilarious. Did you guys have a chance to see that?
Wouldn't there be somebody else more Anya style? I
mean, I like unknowns also. There's actually a woman.
Isn't Anya inspired by somebody?
Yeah, by my wife.
Yeah.
But the thing is,
she could play it. She could play her.
My wife has a lot of talents. Acting
propose
is
Torv.
There's this show on Netflix called Ginny in Georgia, and my wife and I. You guys know the concept of a laminated list?
Nope.
It's celebrities. If you're married, there's like 3 or 4 people that if you happen to have a chance to sleep with them, you get a pass on it.
Okay.
One of the ones at the top of my list is this actress named Brienne Howey, and she's on that show Ginny in Georgia. And it's about this woman who's a grifter. She lives in a small town, and she's like hooking up with a bunch of the dudes. And my friend Scott Porter, who's a big gamer, he was on Friday Night Lights, actually plays the mayor in the town. Then I'm like, oh, you got to kiss her, Scott. But it's acting. But I somebody was suggesting John Barenthal as Dom, but I think I think it would be important to have an actual like Latino in the role. And Lester Spate as Coltrane, or possibly he's a little bit older these days. I actually became friends with Terry Crews of all people, because we have the same literary agent, because he wrote his memoir, I wrote my memoir, and then my agent mentioned that he represents me, and Terry was in his office like, oh, I love his work, blah blah blah. And so Terry Crews and I are like sending photos of each of us reading each other's memoir on text messages back and forth.
That's pretty cool.
I think he could do a really cool Coltrane, and somebody like Chris Evans for Baird. Ooh. I think would be cool.
Oh yeah,
but he might be too big after all that Marvel money,
Yeah. So I'm gonna go back to the Microsoft Gears and whatnot. Tell me if I'm wrong. During your final days at Epic, that's when you introduced Fortnite, right?
Yeah.
I know, I don't know if it's true, but what I know is there wasn't a publisher back then. Like, it wasn't just a trailer; it was actually a pitch to find a publisher.
Well, Epic had good relationships with all of our publishers, GT Interactive through the years. We worked with EA on Bulletstorm, even though they didn't market it enough. And then, which is now remembered as a classic for the record. Okay. And then, Microsoft did a great job with Gears. But Tim saw where the puck was going, as Wayne Gretzky, the famous hockey player, once said, go where the puck is going, not where the puck is.
Yeah.
And Epic realized in order to maintain their independence, they needed to figure out a way to get Fortnite out on their own. And so the thing is Save the World, the first version, Mark Rain told me actually did fairly well for them.
Okay.
But then when they pivoted to Battle Royale, that's when it's just exploded and became.
I hate Fortnite, by the way. I'm sorry, but I hate it.
My wife and I call it the F word.
No, I'll tell you why. I was editor-in-chief of the Fortnite magazine, and when you make a monthly magazine of a game that they patch every 5 fucking minutes, like you end up, we got to go to print. Well, they just patched it. Half of the magazine is obsolete now. We got to rewrite everything in 24 hours. So never again. I hate that game. I'm sorry.
Well, the thing is I respect their success. I respect what they're doing, but the thing is when I was at Epic, I was an employee. I had some stock options, etc. And they were very generous with the bonuses. Hence I had 2 Lamborghinis at one point. And the thing is,
you have one spare.
What's that?
You have one spare. Lamborghini.
No, it was his and hers.
Capito? Era per lui e per lei. Ce n'aveva due, una per sua moglie e una per lui.
I had the Aventador, and my wife had the LP 560 Spider.
Right. Okay.
So we would like take it to like fast food drive-throughs together. And it's just I eventually realized like I'm not trying to impress anybody anymore. They're beautiful cars. They're extraordinarily well made. Of course, lightning fast. But they'll always have a place in my heart. But for me, when it comes to money, I like things that gain value as opposed to having to spend $5,000 on a tire if the tire gets a nail in it. And then I'd have to ship it off to a place that's an hour and a half away, and it was just a pain in the ass at that point. To be honest, my wife and I rarely actually use we still have 2 Mercedes, his and hers. And we rarely drive these days. Like
is that actually the license plate?
No, mine says Phoenix.
Okay.
Wow. Her FENIX. Hers says Epona.
Okay, like the horse in
but it's like it's spelled like ponage, like PWN, like
Epona. Okay.
Yeah. So.
So listen, I'm gonna get back a little bit to the pitching and Fortnite and whatnot.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Do you think? No, don't worry. It's just that in the interest of time, I'm just gonna try to speed run, and then we can shoot the shit as much as you want. I'll keep you here all night. I have no problem with that. I know you have a hockey game to go to.
Yeah. Well, the big thing about Fortnite is I don't see a dime off of it, and there's an image in my book of Tim Sweeney and I, and it says, One of these people is a multi-millionaire. The other is a multi-billionaire.
Okay. But do you feel like pitching has changed, pitching games?
Well, the thing is, real quick, to double back on Fortnite for a second,
Yeah.
the F word, is that it actually, most of it came out of a game jam that they had at Epic.
Yeah.
Where they said, let's just see what new stuff we can come up with, because, you know, Mike Capps, our old president, said Gears might not always be cool. And it's not necessarily about Gears being cool, because in my heart of hearts, Gears will always be cool. But, you know, you got to you have to get the youth, right? And Fortnite tapped into, you know, the young crowd.
Yeah.
You know, I'll go to the mall and I'll see a kid wearing a Fortnite shirt, right?
Yeah.
But again, I don't see a dime off of it. And so, you know, it is what it is.
Off a little bit?
You know, it took me a while to get comfortable with that. And so I have a sign hanging downstairs that says comparison is the thief of joy. So,
True.
Okay.
you know, just accept the fact that you know, I have what I have, and it's, you know, it's motivated me to move on to other stuff.
Yeah. Do you play it? Do you play Fortnite?
Absolutely not.
Okay, thank God. So anyway, no, what I was asking is,
The second I saw Marcus Phoenix in there dancing, I was like, fuck off. I was like, get the fuck out with that shit.
fair. So what I was asking is, do you think pitching games has changed? Like as the industry moved to a more corporate structure, and what's the difference between back in the day and now?
I could do a TED talk on this,
Oh,
because
please do.
everybody, like, you look at how much it costs to make a AAA game these days, and then, you know, the price point is still $60 to $70. You know, you look at it, you know, a big game costing 150 million to make, then 50 plus million to market, and then you want your, you know, employees, you know, to get paid a decent amount, you know, have health plans, you know, like, at least they don't have to have offices now, because COVID nuked that. Glad I did not invest in commercial real estate. And so when it comes to pitching, though, publishers want a safe bet. They want an established intellectual property. They want an established world. And so, you know, Batman, everyone knows Batman. You know, like, you know, Mortal Kombat, they're just going to keep making Mortal Kombats, you know, and then they get like guest star characters and things like that, because that's like all the rage of the last like 8 years. You know, the Terminator is showing up, you know, the Predator shows up.
Now it's Peacemaker and the guys from Invincible.
Yeah, exactly, because, you know, those blew up. But the thing was, you know, when it comes to, you know, Peacemaker was an obscure character. It was an obscure comic book, you know, but James Gunn made Suicide Squad a thing with all these. He took all these misfits, these ridiculous characters, and made a really, really cool movie. And then
He made Polka Dot Man cool. I mean, it's not easy.
You know, the Sharks, voiced by Sylvester Stallone, was great. Yeah. And then John Cena did the TV series, and he made this big lug likable. You know, when the CG eagle hugs him, you know, I caught some feels.
Oh my God, yeah.
And that's the thing, is it takes a visionary like that to take an obscure character and make something work like that. And that's why James has steadily risen up. And, you know, a lot of the hardcore fans, comic fans, don't like him. And, you know, so a lot of times James Gunn is trending on Twitter. And for the record, you know, I know him. He's a friend. I've hung out with him. And he's very talented, but he has great, what we call a shit filter. He knows how to spot good things, and he knows how to make things. He knows how to make IP have heart. So back to the pitch thing, you know, you need to have somebody who's established, who's a visionary, who could come up with an idea like a dog superhero, and that could easily be adapted into a video game. And otherwise, they're just going to go with the name.
We make a petition, Cliff.
Well, they just go with the names they know, right? Because it's like hedging their bets on Wall Street, right? Going with blue chip stocks as opposed to this new startup. Have you
ever thought about crowdfunding a game?
It's kind of hard to crowdfund when I'm known for having owned 2 Lamborghinis.
True.
Well, and that's the thing. The thing about crowdfunding is it's not just about the money. It's about, it establishes your brand, but also it gives you a built-in community from the get-go.
Yeah.
Like by Baldur's Gate.
Everything comes down to community. right? And which 99% of the times, every community winds up turning toxic in its life cycle. It's like, my wife and I tried to get into League of Legends a while back, and it's like, no, you should go mid. Don't choose that character, you fucking idiot. And it's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is, that community though, if you maintain a positive community, then that's, you wind up with, loyal fans. But, it goes back to Borderlands, the diehard Borderlands fans are like, I don't like the casting on that character. And you're just like, dude, you got to have a little bit of wiggle room when you're adapting a game to a TV series or a film. It's like there were people online complaining that the girl who played Ellie in The Last of Us wasn't pretty enough. I'm like, dude, she's like 13. Get the fuck out of here,
Yeah.
That's one point in the line when community thinks they owe you. And this is not positive.
You have to listen to the community, respond to them, but there's a threshold there where you can't let the inmates run the asylum.
True.
Because then you wind up with what feels like fan service to a fault, right? Let them have their say. Tell them you hear them, but the fans also need to trust the powers that be, the creatives that are making what they like so much, why they're there in the first place. So it's a complicated thing.
Yeah. So on that note, I want to ask you, how do you feel about the moniker Gears of Woke? Since we speak about communities turning their backs and shit like that,
I heard you was really upset about that.
Well, that tweet got like 500,000 views. First off, I hate the way the term woke has been weaponized. I think diversity and inclusion are good things. Yeah. And I said this when I had Boss Key, because at the end of the day, regardless of your politics, people of all races and genders and sexualities you want their fucking money. Yeah. And if they feel represented, then it's like, when Black Panther blew up, and it's kind of like, suddenly Hollywood was like, wait, black people go to the movies?
Yeah. Like, go figure.
Have you ever heard of Tyler Perry and Medea? Like Chris Tucker? Like, hello. I'll never forget coming out of the Avengers when Thanos did the snap. Yeah. And Black Panther is just gone, and I'm coming out of the theater, and there's this family, a mom and a dad and two little black kids, and the black kids were in tears, man. And I walked up to him and was like, "Don't worry, he'll be back."
Spoiler.
But then, rest in peace. Sadly, Chadwick Boseman wound up dying of cancer. Yeah. So now I feel like the asshole.
You lied to those kids.
Well, hey, get your colonoscopies, guys. I've had 2.
Wow.
So how was it?
The hardest thing is the prep. You have to drink this like completely disgusting fluid, and then you basically just shit everything out over the next like 2 hours. But the worst part is the hunger, because you're not allowed to eat. But the other thing is the next morning, because they usually do this shit at like 8, and again, night owl here, you have to take more of it and shit out whatever's left in you, and then you go in and they put you under with like propofol, which is I was so scared the first time, because that's what killed Michael Jackson, because he couldn't sleep. But next thing you know, they tell you to count down from 100, you're like 99, 90.
Yeah,
and then you wake up and you fart a lot, and then you go get a chicken. And then you go get a chicken sandwich. So,
no, Cliff, I picked this. This is Aperol Spritz.
Aperol's good, man.
So, I'm gonna circle back again to the pitching thing. There's a quote by you that says, "I could pitch the most amazing idea to anybody back when I was at Epic towards the end, and they'd be like, I don't buy it." I want to know what was that like? Like, it's shitty.
Well, when I was pitching something internally, right?
Yeah.
Or to publishers. Like, can you clarify?
You said during my final days at Epic, I could pitch the most amazing idea to anybody, and they'd be like, I don't buy it.
Game developers are cynical. They like basically like, oh, so it's just this meets this. It's like, yeah, it's like, Fortnite is fucking PUBG that's cartoony. Like,
yeah,
but with some building. That's all you need, right? And I just, once Tencent invested in Epic, I realized that I had enough money that I didn't have to argue with programmers anymore.
Yeah.
I'll never forget when I had the idea of the locusts not being aliens. I wanted them to be from the underground, which turned out to be a masterful stroke. Thank you very much. And I remember saying this to like one of the really smart programmers. He's like, I don't buy it. I'm like, why not? He's like, how did they get there? I'm like, that's part of the fucking mystery, dude. Like, we'll figure that out later. Yeah. Which eventually was revealed over the course of Gears 1 through 5. And it also goes back to the fact that with Gears 4, I wanted the locusts to have wings, because the idea was that they were from the underground. They were called grubs, and you look at the life cycle of a caterpillar. It winds up getting
the next step.
The chrysalis, right? And so by getting rid of emulsion, the locust's natural life cycle was able to continue. So, because emulsion made them mutate. So that you remove the mutagen, and then basically they go into that dormant state with the crystals on them. And then eventually they all reemerge, giant wings. Wow. And the tagline was going to be
the evolution.
Exactly. But imagine, like you're hanging out and then they just come flying in. They come at you with like they could stab you with the wings, and you shoot the holes in the wings, and you can see like the subdermal lighting on the wings. And then if they try to retreat, they start flying away, and you shoot them more, and then right. So much could happen with that. And the tagline that it had was, before they came from below, now they come from above.
Bam.
And,
boom.
Game of the year.
And then Rod's just like, nah,
fuck,
let's just do fucking robots.
Yeah.
Hai una domanda, Maguzzolo, che so che...
Well, speaking about pitching and publishing, I'm wondering, do you ever think about a very small little game, indie game like Vampire Survivors, for example? Or I think that maybe your mindset automatically goes towards a big project.
Well, games. For the record, I love Vampire Survivors. Yeah. I was hooked on that for like 3 weeks. It's so simple, but for some reason it just got its hooks in me. The one thing where you're like playing, it's like just the tree that just like sits there. Yeah. It's so cool. Dead simple graphics. But the thing is what once what that game mastered, I'll get to your question, is the cycle of empowerment that a good video game does. You start off, it's the hero's journey, right? You start off, super weak, but by the end, when you get towards the timer's going, you're just plowing through like the biggest enemies because you pick the right power ups and things like that. And if I were to make a new video game, I do something very, very simple. The only thing I play right now is my Switch. I loved Celeste. I love Shovel Knight. I love like less is more for me. But my PlayStation 5 is upstairs right now. I have not touched it. Right. I play games on Steam as well. My biggest mistake with Boss Key, my own studio that I had, was I hired a bunch of AAA developers, and what I should have done was started off with a team of just 10 to 15 and made a first game that was just a cool little experience, right? And then once we got traction, we learned how to work together. If the game was making money and we had, a steady income apart from our sugar daddy publisher, proceed to build a larger game and then build the studio, right? The thing is Lawbreakers took like nearly 3 years to make, which every time it popped up on the news, gamers are like, they're still working on that shit, and we had like 6 alphas and betas, and the problem there also is the fact that the people who were in the initial alphas and betas were that damn good, and then so when the game finally came out, we didn't have that big of a player base, so the matchmaking couldn't properly work. So the newbies were getting completely decimated by the people who played the game months ago, right? Because the skill
would just leave.
Just unbalanced.
Exactly. And it wasn't just the typical, FPS mechanics. We had some very unique things in there with shooting behind you, variable gravity, things like that. We didn't just have like the the mercy where you follow with the healing noodle, right? Like, and that's the thing is, then people are like, it's an Overwatch clone. I'm like, oh, you really think we saw Overwatch and then we scrambled and put this together in a month? Like,
Yeah.
Sure, Jan. Right. So, but the thing is it would be something small. I really love indie games. I love it. I love it when something unexpected breaks out. I don't know what it costs to make, but the fact that Pal World did so well, it's like my thing about
did a good marketing though, focused on Pals, but that's much more.
Well, I mean, Pokemon's a $1 billion franchise. You have an entire generation. My wife, that's her generation. She's a '90s girl. And the thing is ask yourself, from a creative and a business standpoint, what happens, for me, from the Pal World people, what happens when the people who love Pokemon grow up? Like Pokemon with guns and building and survival feels like a little bit Zelda-like, right?
Yeah.
And my thing about my dog comic is, what happens with the kids who love Paw Patrol grow up
when they grow up? Yeah.
I think there's room for a badass dog superhero that could easily be translated into a video game. Yeah. That if that were to be the case, I would hope to be, of course, well, since I own the whole fucking thing,
I think this is a special moment because we were the first to play video games, and now we grew up. We need new things. We are still here, still alive, still want to play. Sorry, the Mario accent.
Well, the other thing to keep in mind, going back to engagement and all that stuff, is the internet loves weird shit, and we live in the world of Twitch streamers and YouTubers and TikTokers, and the more you can get some random kid to overact about some goofy feature in your game. I mean, PewDiePie's entire career was built on Slender Man. Oh, Mr. Slenderman, you're coming for me, ha, ha, ha. And kids eat that shit up. And I tell my wife, she's normally kind of like, hey, how's it going? What's up? I'm like, overact.
Please don't.
But it works. Yeah.
You go to YouTube and like the fucking thumbnails make me want to stab somebody in the dick.
Yes.
Yes. With the giant font. But as they say, kids love that shit.
But I think it doesn't really help the market though. Like when I see a game like what the fuck is the name? Only Up, the biggest asset flip ever made. It's you have to climb this infinite thing of things. It's called Only Up, and it was huge last year. It was like a $5 game, and it got in trouble because it was asset flipping, but people were reacting to it, and so it got big. And I'm like, there's nothing here. There's literally nothing.
Well, try working in AAA for 25 years and seeing something like that. Like Quap became big. What's that game? You have the guy who's like in like the barrel and he has the pickaxe.
Getting over it.
Yeah, which was impossibly hard. But there's also this community of like speed runners and people who want to be punished. The whole people who troll with Mario Maker levels that are just nearly impossible.
Oh yeah.
Like Donkey, who's one of my favorite YouTubers. The thing is, he does really good content. He's fucking funny, right? And so, but then you have other people who just put stuff out there, and I'm just like, if people say they're content creators, and I respect people who do good stuff. Like you look at the cosplayer Jessica Nigri, who's made a name for herself. She's beautiful, et cetera, et cetera. She's got a great personality. And the thing, she does her sexy photo shoots, but you look at so much of the cosplay she does, and it's fucking insane.
Yeah.
My wife does the cosplay thing too, and I see the amount of work that goes into it.
Yeah.
The sweat equity. It's actually a fun fact is that on Jess Nigri's Instagram, anytime she posts a photo and you see her butt, I always comment in all caps, butt! And then, because Jess is a friend of ours, she's come to our Comic-Con party.
Yeah.
And, I've hung out with her dude. He's super cool. And basically, like, somebody will try and rat me out to Lauren on Instagram, like tagging her, like, aren't you married? And Lauren's like, I get a photo at Comic-Con every year in our photo booth of her grabbing my tits. Fuck off.
So listen, I'm gonna have to speed up here.
Yeah, sorry, I get off.
No, don't worry, it's not your fault. Hey, tell you
You
what,
can do whatever you want.
I'm gonna snatch a promise from you. Are you gonna come back in the future? Not next week, not next month, but just in the future. Can we have you back?
Actually making a game, or are you talking on the podcast?
No, in the podcast. Making a game,
sure.
of course, we want you to. And
I mean,
just so you know, here in this community, you're fucking royalty. I assure you. Especially this guy. Where is he? Above me. This guy. I don't know if you're watching on Twitch. Are you?
What, me?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, so you don't see him, but this guy over me. If you go on the Twitch page, when I told him that you were coming, I promise you he peed a little. He's been silent the whole time now. It's like it's right in the face.
No, I mean, you guys seem like giant assholes, but I'd be happy to come back anyway.
No, we're not. Why? Do you want me to ask some question?
It's sarcasm, man. That's the funny thing about like Gears and whatnot, and the things that I've done in my life. Let me pat myself in the back here. Is that so many of the things I've worked on have a huge international following, like Gears being big in Europe, Gears being big in Mexico. Gears, well, it's actually a fun fact going back real quick to the whole idea of the hero's journey for a second.
Yeah,
is that I didn't know about that Joseph Campbell book that George Lucas had read, and that's partially what inspired Luke's journey in Star Wars, and I actually learned about that book. I was sitting at a bar in Milan, of all places, and this guy who worked in fashion was sitting next to me, and we had a conversation. He told me about the books, so that's why I wound up buying it and reading it. So thanks, Italy.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of Italy in Gears of War. That's what you're saying?
You could say that.
Okay, we'll take it. We'll take it.
My one of my dear friends' family's from Sicily, actually, and they make some really good Italian food.
Yeah, well, in Italy, wherever you go, you're pretty much gonna eat well.
Yeah,
there's no wrong place in Italy.
I would love to go to Tuscany.
Oh yeah, that's good. So listen, do you ever think about bringing back Unreal or Jack Jazz Rabbit?
First off, Epic owns those. Second off, when I left Epic, I did a final speech, and I thanked everybody for working so hard with me, et cetera, et cetera. It was such a crazy hero's journey again. But the thing is the last thing I said to them was, because I think Unreal Engine 4 was coming online at that time, or 4 or 5. I was like, guys, remake the first Unreal, but do it like in the new engine. Because I go back and I look at that game was so hard to make. I'm lucky that I was like in my early 20s and I had the stamina to drink all the Mountain Dew and then sleep nearly under my desk. And
it was also beautiful back then. Like exactly. I remember magazine covers with the polygons going, Jesus Christ, what is this?
Oh, and then the particle effects and the texture detail. The size of the maps, like the huge hubs, and then
it literally was unreal.
I did well. That was I wanted to change. I wanted a different name at one point. I wanted to call it something like Dark Earth, which is like the most generic video game.
A little bit.
Yeah, but Tim Sweeney stuck to his guns. He's like, it needs to be called Unreal, and the tagline was called "It's called Unreal because it is." I'm like, little on the nose, Morty. But the thing is that game had a certain sense of magic to it, right? Yeah. The music, the little moments in there, the nollie with the 4 arms, that could help you and provide power-ups for you. The Scar, which are kind of predator-like, but we're kind of really good AI that could follow you everywhere. And the intro of the Scar, which I'm still proud of that I did to this day, where you're in the mine. The lights go out, then the strobe lights, that red ones come on, and the techno music kicks in, and this fucking predator thing's coming at you that I teased throughout the first level, where you just see a tail go through the through the hallway, and then you see him briefly running away. And the lesson that I learned from that is from the movie Alien, where you don't show the monster initially, and I coined the term monster foreplay. Because Stephen King, in his book On Writing, says when the lightning crashes and the door opens and you see a 20-foot bug, part of you is relieved because you're expecting a 40-foot bug.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's what's up here is always scarier, right?
Yeah.
And so, I would love to see Unreal remastered. Somebody was willing to do it. I can't remember who they were, but I reached out to Epic, and Epic was like, "Yeah, we're too busy right now." And I'm like, "Guys, come on, you gotta." One thing I learned from John Romero, I just read his book. John Romero is one of my heroes, and he's a friend. I read his book Doom Guy, which I would highly recommend. John's embraced his past, and that's my thing is acknowledging. I have 60 games I'm credited on mobygames.com, but I will ultimately for years still to many people be known as the Gears guy.
Yeah.
So
I mean, to be fair, you did go on stage with a fucking chainsaw attached to a shotgun, so kind of sticks into mind.
Well, it was an iconic moment in gaming history.
Yeah.
And the thing is, and I was a cocky little fucker. Remind people of your past to guide them towards your future, right? Yeah. It's like the thing is like hey, that guy you made a game with a chainsaw and a gun. Well, now he's making a cell shaded comic book about a dog superhero. They'll be like, what?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. The thing is, like Eli Roth, who was known for Hostel and Cabin Fever, did the Borderlands movie, which I don't think there's going to be any eyeballs popping out in Borderlands because they probably want to keep it PG-13. So the thing is, James Gunn, did the movie Slither, which was this amazing comedy horror film, and then went on to make Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, he comes from Trauma, right? James Gunn.
That too, yeah. And that's the thing is, when he got quote busted for like old tweets where he was making inappropriate jokes, and then he got canceled, and then they're like, wait, what are we doing here? Like this guy's really fucking good and talented, and he knows his shit. The thing about any IP, be it a game, be it a comic book, be it anything, is it has to have heart. And that's the thing is, Guardians of the Galaxy, you have a fucking talking tree and a talking raccoon and a blue girl and a green girl, right? And like the thing is, it opens with Peter Quill not holding his mother's hand as she dies of cancer. And then at the end, the way that they deal with the Infinity Stone and the power of it is they all hold hands. And then Groot said, I just got goosebumps. Groot says we are Groot, right? And that's the thing is, you want to go to a movie, you want to feel something. That's the thing about, as much as I respect James Cameron and all of his movies and his success, I like the Avatar movies, but I walked out of Avatar 2 and I'm like, I felt nothing. There's this
I agree.
My next tattoo that I'm getting on Sunday. I don't have detailed tattoos. They're very simple, but they're things that mean something to me, like drama and things like that. Is there's this college basketball coach from North Carolina that died of cancer. And he went on stage at the ESPY Awards, and he did this speech, and he said, essentially, if you could do 3 things every day: laugh, think, cry.
Oh, I saw it on your Twitter. Yeah.
Do that 7 days a week. You're living a good life, and that's kind of my MO. I want to watch a little stand up. I want to learn some new shit, and then I want to be moved. I want to have some feelings, and it goes back to. Okay, I'm spitting out a little bit. We can stay a little bit longer than 4, by the way.
Okay.
You guys are easy to talk to. I've said this before in other interviews. So first off, I'm friends with Karen Gillan, Nebula.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we had lunch with her when she came to town. She's an absolute sweetheart, beautiful, talented, intelligent. And the thing is there's a scene in Doctor Who where the doctor and her bring Vincent van Gogh to the Musée d'Orsay in Paris, right?
Yep.
And Vincent struggled to sell a painting his whole life. He was a torture artist.
Yep.
And then he sees the gallery of his work and the fact that people are just lining up and just fascinated by it, and they're moved. And the doctor grabs Bill Nye, not the science guy, the British actor, and says, "Could you tell me what Vincent, how the impact he had?" He said, "Oh, his work he's perhaps one of the best, and he was probably an amazing man, etc." And the actor, who looks just like Vincent, starts losing his shit, and then the music starts swelling in the background, and the doctor looks over. He's like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, Vincent is like, "No, they're tears of joy." And then he gives him a hug, and you realize, you know, as a creative, yeah, you know, I do like to eat and pay my bills, but you just fucking want to know that at the end of the day,
somebody appreciates it. Yeah.
You made an impact on people. I was at San Diego Comic-Con doing a signing with my writing partner, Alex DeCampi, on Scrapper. Because, you know, it's really cool actually to be at Comic-Con with an actual comic to promote, which is the first time that's happened for me. Yeah. And then this woman comes up to me. She must have been 50 plus, and she starts crying and telling me, she brought her copies of Gears, and she's like, Gears of War saved my life. And I'm like, and then I start fucking crying. And then I'm like, do you want a hug? And she's like, yes. And I gave her a hug. And the thing is about, you know, books and movies, TV, comics is, you know, you want to be able to kind of reach through the screen or
I can promise you, for much of the people in this chat now listen to you are the same. They cried, they laugh.
Yeah,
Just
there's actually
your games.
There's actually a guy in our community. I don't remember the name now, but he mentioned that Gears helped him through his father's loss. So
well, that's
you
beautiful.
did a lot. You did
Gears was to some extent partially inspired by the loss of my father, and the irony is Lee Perry, my co-designer, and Rod Ferguson, my producer, lost their fathers at an early age as well. And the thing was, you know, Marcus believing his father is dead, you know, because his father had to fake his death in order to solve the problem that he saw coming of emulsion.
Yeah.
And then towards the end, when Marcus reunites with him, and then, you know, it's just like the Curies who were experimenting with radiation. They experimented and tested on themselves. Yeah. And so that was kind of the idea there. But for Marcus to, you know, essentially see his father die twice, you know, I wanted, when Gears was, you know, Gears 1, 2, and 3 were, you know, blowing up, all I saw, the burnt peanuts again, were, this is just a dude bro shooter. And then for validation, you know, I'll sometimes, you know, after a mimosa, I'm sorry, limoncello.
Okay, better.
I'm got to play to the crowd. I'll go to YouTube and I'll look up, like, you know, Dom killing Maria, Dom sacrificing.
Spoiler.
It's been years, man.
I agree. Dom, didn't play yet. It's your fault.
Exactly. Marcus killing Queen Mira with Dom's knife.
Yeah.
Right. That was like, you know, there's an old writing thing, the Russian playwright Chekhov, where it's called Chekhov's gun.
Says, if there's a gun on the stage, it's got to be used at some point. Exactly.
And that was, you know, the moment when, like, you know, one of the valves was stuck and Dom gives his commando knife to Marcus, but he doesn't give it back. And then I was like, we know where we're going with this, right?
You want to know what was my moment in Gears? When the recruit gets shot in the head right at the beginning.
Yeah.
That for me was like, oh shit, this shit is real. Like, shit's getting real. That could be me. That was my thinking. Like, I'm not gonna be one of those giant dudes. I'm gonna be that one.
I love the fact that we use the death of a cute character to teach you about active reload.
That's true.
Speaking of the Carmines, is, you know, my wife has a theory, like, you know, I love Batman. You know, she says she prefers Robin because her theory is not everybody can be Batman.
True.
Then I'm like, I'm the goddamn Batman. Did I tell you guys the Lego Batman story?
Of course.
Okay, so a girlfriend of ours is dating a tattoo artist, really cool dude, really talented, and it turns out he has a tattoo on his dick.
Okay.
Of Lego Batman.
Oh man! Oh.
I feel I heard this story on your comedy special.
Yes.
Okay. I'll let you play.
that he did himself. Now, I have questions. So apparently he did have to be in the mood while he was doing it. And I'm like, is this guy, like, did he just, like, grind up a bunch of Viagra in a mortar little pedestal and just, like, snort it? Like, and it's like when he hooks up with our girlfriend, does he say, like, pulls off her panties and goes, "Where is she?" Does he go, "Time to enter the Batcave"? And if he pulls out sex toys with her, does he go, "Where does he get those wonderful toys?" You know, that joke didn't land though. I think it was still a little bit too edgy for Raleigh.
Right.
Now I'm like, I kind of want to see it. You know,
Yeah.
when he's soft, does he look like he's crouching? Like when he's hard, does he look like he's like doing this?
Yeah, when he's soft, he looks like Thomas Wayne. He's just a little bit older, you know.
Seriously.
And the moment it unfolds.
Listen, I have a curiosity of mine. Are you in good terms with Tim Sweeney?
I could email Tim tomorrow and go to lunch.
Okay.
Yeah, I was actually supposed to go to a Hurricanes game with Mark Rain about a month ago, but the missus wasn't feeling so hot.
Okay.
But you know, I hug Mark whenever I see him. Tim, I wrote about this in my book. Tim, in many ways, Tim and Mark were father figures to some extent to me. And you know, because I lost my dad 2 years prior, I contacted them when I was 17 years old, and they kind of helped guide me through a lot of things. And then I was willing to, you know, as you know, Christopher Molosanti said to Tony Soprano, "I will go to hell for that man." And you know, I worked my fucking ass off for that company, and I was fairly compensated. A little bit more would have been nice, but you know.
Yeah, I'm gonna latch on to that because I have questions also from developers from Epic. Okay, like I have my contacts, so. Here's the question. There was a big influx of money at some point during the year's time, and all of a sudden the Epic parking lot was all Porsches. So he says, "I bet there are some cool, funny stories about that." This happened again on Fortnite, by the way. He said.
Yeah, I bet. The thing is what's a good way of putting it? I didn't know how or where to buy a Lamborghini.
Okay.
So Mark Rain knew a guy named Anand. He had a website called Anand Tech, and he figured out how to game the system for page clicks and page views. He had a Ferrari and a Lamborghini. So I had met the dude before. I didn't know he had done that well. I'd go up to his big McMansion, which ironically is not too far from our house. This Anand guy, and I'd take his Lambo for a test drive, and he taught me that, you know, it was a paddle shifter, right?
Yeah.
That, you know, if you downshift when you're going underneath an overpass, the sound that it makes sounds like a fighter jet. So right. And also the first time I drove a Lamborghini was actually for the MTV special that we did for Gears 1.
Yep.
Where I borrowed Tim Sweeney's Lamborghini. And the thing was, you know, I went to this the pub that actually has the Beers of War plate. It's called the Flying Saucer in downtown Raleigh.
Yeah.
The thing is that, you know, it has my name on it and everything. And the parking lot was very steep. And this is before the powers that be at Lamborghini figured out to put a button in to raise the front up by like 4 inches.
Yeah.
And there's people walking by, like looking at the car, because this is kind of like the party district, right? And I like scrape the shit out of it, and then they're like, and then I brought it back to Tim, and I never told him.
But you did now.
You would have taken it out of my bonuses, man.
So listen, I have another one from the devs. There's a little climbing wall at HQ, so they want to know how many people got hurt on that if you were there when it got installed.
More people got hurt in the slide than the climbing wall.
Okay.
The sliding.
Well, do you remember the scene in the classic movie Christmas Vacation, where Chevy Chase takes that disc and he sprays like
yes, okay,
like lube in the bottom that goes. Phew.
Yes.
I mean that was how the first version of the slide was, and so people are almost breaking their tailbones coming off the thing. And so, I mean, that's a liability at some point, right?
But you installing that, like a climbing wall, a slide, like
that was Tim. You know.
Okay.
Tim wanted to install a fireman's pole in his house, but like code wouldn't let him do it. Another fun fact about Tim is he owns several of the world's largest geode stones. You know, the ones where they cut it when it's old. They're like literally like 6 feet plus tall.
Wow.
And I was at a
God.
party at Tim's house once, and somebody said, "I think that's the pod that Tim arrived to Earth in." Yeah, Tim's a character, man. The thing is, Epic is his. It's his. As they say with Pokemon, that to train them is my cause, right?
Pokemon.
Like, he wants, essentially world domination, and
So he's a super villain, basically. For a moment in this decade is
that's
quite near.
That's his life purpose. For what I know about his personal life, I don't think he's married. I just think he's just laser focused on his baby, which is Epic, and I respect him for that. You think about the stones of him. I think the stones of me to be able to go on stage in front of like 60 people and do stand-up comedy. Now the stones of him to like take on Apple, Jesus Christ, man. So it's he's as Mark Rain always said, he's the smartest guy in the room. And the other adage is, if you're the smartest guy in the room, you need to be in a better room.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that. Another question is there something or is there anything holding you back from joining the coalition and working on Gears again?
I would consult. I don't want to do the full-time thing these days. I love, like, one of the reasons I loved when I was working at Epic was, Gears was my primary focus, but then I'd get a build of Infinity Blade. And I'd be like, oh, Donald, what can we do with this? And then I get a build of Bulletstorm, and I'd be like, oh, how about acting cactuses that you could kick people into, right? I had, and then also I'd have to do a million interviews. So like I was wearing like 6 hats at one point.
Yeah.
And I mean, imagine like, working your butt off on various video games and then having to, do numerous interviews, having to do E3, having to do, PAX, having to do DICE and all that. It's amazing I wasn't a cocaine addict or something like that.
So the media obligation were a big hurdle like that.
Oh yeah. Well, I learned, Dana Cowley, who's still there. She's this wonderful, smart woman who doesn't fucking age. I had drinks with her like 6 months back. She's just hilarious. She had so much going on that she wouldn't always tell me when I would have somebody there to do an on-camera interview. Yeah. And so I learned to basically like. I didn't want to be a neckbeard, right? So I had to keep this trimmed. I had to keep everything clean. I had to, put on the under eye, going back to the cream to do on camera. Put on a nice shirt every day and be prepared. Get my triple latte, and rock it.
Always ready on the spot.
Well, that's the thing is, I was a big drama nerd in high school. Again, going back to the tattoo.
Yeah.
I have no problem being in front of a crowd. I actually crave it. When I go to a random bar for karaoke and there's only like 6 people, I'm like, fuck. Like those little rooms they have in like Asia, like I fucking hate them. It's like I could sing in front of my friends in my living room instead. Like, what's the point of this?
Yeah.
But like whenever I go to a place and it's just slammed, I'm like, and I read the room, right? I'm like, okay, if there's a lot of white girls, it's time for Mr. Brightside. Or going out of a cage and I've been doing just fine. Or it's time for
I love Killers too.
Oh, who doesn't? Or it's time for Before He Cheats by Carrie Underwood. And then if it's a predominantly African American crowd, it sounds cliche, but do a little hip hop and don't say the word, of course. And if it's a gay bar,
are you working towards your pass for that? Like you do enough hip hop? No, okay.
Dude, I'm friends with Ice fucking T, dude. Like, my wife actually plays online games with Ice-T's son.
Wow.
I think she's actually on a server with him doing the GTA role playing. Have you seen this shit, by the way?
No.
Ooh.
It's this mod for GTA Online where these people get together and they play. They literally like stay in character on voice comms.
I saw the GTA RP. I didn't see that one you mentioned with Ice-T's son.
Oh yeah, but the GTA RP is so fucking it's brilliant.
But the guys that developed the mod are now in the actual team for GTA 6.
Yeah, I heard that, and I hope they got fuck you money.
Yeah, I hope they got paid.
That's what I tell people about the gaming industry. Unless you want to do this for the rest of your life, get fuck you money and then get the fuck out.
Get the money and run. Yeah.
There are so many developers I've known who go gray at an early age. It was like when Obama first went in office.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Yes.
that really has. You got a little bit of gray right there, and a couple of you do. But I occasionally one comes in, I take my razor. I'm not today, Satan.
No, I cherish them. It's wisdom.
Well, that's.
Look at me, Cliff. I'm fucking Santa.
Well, I mean, as a dude, like if you can grow a solid beard like you did, shave the head, it's a cool look, right?
Yes, very sexy.
So I have one last question that I'm gonna let you go. If you were consulting today for Gears, what would you change? Because Gears redefined the genre back when it came out, basically. So today, to do the same thing in current times, what would you change, or maybe what's the right way to develop a new Gears?
I would do a DLC to wrap up the loose end storytelling parts of Gears 5, and then I'd reboot it, much like God of War got rebooted. Some of the ideas, the free ideas.
So you mean soft reboot?
Yeah, I mean, don't completely get rid of everything, but God of War, it was, they rebooted it just enough so it felt familiar yet different, right?
Yeah.
There's this book that I love.
Too different.
This book called this book called Hitmakers, right? And basically, it says in order to make something successful, take something that people already know and vibe with, and then make it feel fresh and new. And like the whole joke that I've been saying in prior interviews is Mandalorian is just a fucking Western.
Oh, yeah.
It's the sci-fi twist on it.
Or
right?
Pal World. I mean, it's Conan Exiles, but with Pokemons.
Well, I love the Pokemon company, and Nintendo's like thinly veiled threat letter, like, hey, nice game you have there. Shame is something were to happen to it.
It's me, the Mario Mafia.
I'm a better game.
I like to see Mario with a chainsaw at some point in time.
The thing is there's so much they could do with the franchise. I've always said the decision at the end of 5, I think, was fucking stupid. They painted themselves into a narrative corner. Dom's death mattered because Dom fucking died, and and we stuck to it. The thing is also, and by the way, I have word that decision was hotly debated, as it rightfully should have been. Can
you expand on that part?
That's all I can say right now.
Yeah, okay.
I don't want to betray the circle of trust. The thing is Phil Spencer said to the Gears team, he wanted to get more of the horror elements back in from Gears 1. The Berserker coming out of nowhere, the wretches, like that, the scary rainy scenes and things like that. That cycle of fear and then empowerment, right? And so, the idea that I had, and again, Microsoft, first one's free, is to do an Emergence Day game where go back to the beginning and basically have one of the Delta Squad characters, and then they're dealing with the chaos of it all, right? You can have all the spectacle you want, but then you alternate between that and just a little kid, and a little kid who's just confused and scared. It's like if Joel and Ellie were permanently separated in The Last of Us, right? Okay. And then towards the end, the kid eventually gets a gun. Sloppily, kills his first locust, and it's a tough fight. Yeah. Then, towards the tail end, the kid finally does his first chainsaw kill, and then that's his hero's journey or he or she, their hero's journey is to become a cog, and then meanwhile you're dealing with the person on the other side, maybe a member of Delta Squad, whatever, and maybe you're a new character, and maybe they die at the end, and so it's out with the old, in with the new. Narrative structure, right? And the thing is all the cool monsters of the underground. The Hollow is a thinly veiled metaphor for the ocean, because it feels like every other week there's a new creature that we find at the bottom of the ocean, right? Yeah. Provided you're not going down in a cheap submersible powered by a Logitech controller. Jesus. Imagine that one minute you're like, I'm rich, and we're the deep sea, and then just done. Anyway, that's the first one's free again. Well, thanks for having me, guys.